Well, hello there, Tuber-Rubers and Tuberettes alike. It's a short talk in the trailer park with the, old guy. It's good to see you again. Come on in. Sit down. Get comfortable. It's just a chit-chat time. I was sitting down this morning and eating pretty good breakfast at VI. I thought, well, I should eat healthy stuff. So I had some oatmeal, I had a fruit bowl, and I had an English muffin. I guess that counts. And eggs. Don't forget the eggs. Now, if you can get them scrambled with cheese and green chili, that's getting kind of civilized and whatnot. It was good. And, of course, a big old slug of coffee. And just wanted to kind of pass on whatever stuff was bouncing around my mind, at breakfast. And I got to thinking about it, that we humans have some strange things about us. I mean, we're looking kind of in scenario-wise, we're kind of looking at the end of the world, right? As far as I know, or at least the end of Western civilization. So it could well be both, but anything that held the Western civilization together in terms of the Christian credo, the Christian, in other words, the West was never Christianized fully. No society has been, but the Christian leaven inside the loaf there certainly had a huge effect for at least 2,000 years in Europe, in America, in other places as well. South America, a lot of it would, now that was more Roman Catholic, but never mind that. Anyway, the point being is I got to thinking about the idea is stories. In other words, we have stories that we live by. And one of them is the story of Adam and Eve. And so one thing I've been consistently remembering, I guess you'd say, and I brought it up to a couple of people and they all kind of go, what? But our parents ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And therefore, we at least have been dunked in it. We too have eaten of that tree. We possess now the knowledge of good and evil, as I see it. That's the proviso in there that has ruined our world. It has brought darkness in and insanity, deep insanity. People are no longer able to tell the difference between what's real and what's a lie, an imaginary thing. So I thought one of the stories we live by is that our parents ate of that tree. And yet the evidence of it, which is grotesquely obvious at every corner of every bit of every news, is that every one of us believes in his or her heart, I know the difference between good and evil, and I'm on the side of what good, right? That means you are on the wrong side. And so when you decide to come around to my side, well, then we can be friends. This passes for human, progress and stuff. Well, anyway, I got to thinking about it, is that one of the things that is striking to me today in terms of, as I consider the election and very possibly martial law setting in, we don't know, ruination of the economy, we don't know, possibly a world war or two breaking out. We have no idea what's going to happen. But the thing is that courage is built upon, not bravado, courage is built upon real knowledge of what's going to happen. And so we have in the Christian Bible a story. And the story is pretty clear. However, the church, by and large, refuses to pass on crucial elements thereof. Now, what I'm thinking about it, of course, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you're going to say, this guy is always on this page. I wish he'd get off it. But the idea is that if you can imagine an air raid siren, or let's say you live in Oklahoma City and you got a tornado warning and they sound a huge siren. I don't know if they do that in Oklahoma or not. But in other words, if you had warning F5 tornado coming, well, if you had a tornado warning like that, except it was a global tornado that was intelligent and pissed off and almighty to boot, the ethic of the Bible is run for your life. Why? To get away from him, the one who's coming. In other words, part of the, shall we say, the uneasiness, and if you're like me at all of this horrible ruckus and lies and BS that's going on with the globalists and these disgusting traitors among us who call themselves democracy fanatics, these are the tyrants who are going to bring in an iron fist. And the thing is that we're looking at this, and we're looking at it through a filter of a story. And the story we have is real. That's the difference. Consider the story that you were taught as a kid in public schools, right? Once upon a time, there was this blob of stuff. All known matter was pound up in, but it was like infinitely small, and it was infinitely dense. And one day it decided to just go the other way and blow the hell up and go. It used to be all in, now it's all out. Boom, there you go. And then anyway, galaxies kind of spontaneously formed out of the dust and ignited themselves and set up orbital patterns all by themselves. Blah, blah, blah. And then later, much later, life just sort of spontaneously erupted out of the ocean somehow, although we cannot account for that. And anyway, that life, once it began as a single cell, somehow turned itself into you. Bullshit. That's the right word. Bullshit. And this bullshit story has blinded the minds of people. The real story, the Bible story, is once upon a time, there was no time when God did not exist. He spoke, and all things came into being, and to this very day cohere and continue to be real. He has the sole agency on what we call reality. And so at any rate, I was just sitting there thinking about that today, is that these conflicting stories, as we're viewing what really looks like the destruction of the West, this is part of God's plan. And courage says that he is in charge and he is guiding his people, and it really is for our good to be in the middle of this situation just now. So I just wanted to kind of encourage you some. Get on down to church. It's a Sunday morning, and the Bible story we have is built upon sanity, built upon reality. And the reality is that air raid siren is still sounding. And the gospel message as we know it of Jesus and his love, Jesus and his redemption, the great story at the cross and the empty tomb, the whole narrative coming out of the New Testament is the answer from God's side to our problem. Our problem is, what are you going to do? The Maker, your Maker, is coming, and he's furious. Almighty furious. Can we even imagine what uncreated rage looks like? I don't want to even consider it, thank you. But if you want to fear something, fear him. Let him be your dread. This is the words of Isaiah. So I just wanted to kind of pass that on to you today, is that the darkness is coming. Things are going to get ugly. A lot of people are going to get hurt and die also. We've got to be willing to go into this knowing that this reality right here is the one we've been called to. It was for this reason you were born, to be alive right now and to shine. And he's helping you shine by dunking you, bathing you, washing you, teaching you, and shepherding you. He's the best, absolute. Jesus Christ dwells in our lives. He dwells in our hearts. He dwells in this world, and he's coming. Everyone seems to be aware somehow or another that the second coming is probably pretty close, very likely. And yet they forget who that is that's coming. It's the same one warned about in the Old Testament, coming to tear down and burn. Evil has an expiration date, and they know they've been judged, and their insane lies shall be destroyed, thrown down forever. Truth shall stand because he stands. He's alive. We're his witnesses. Go have a good day. God bless you.